And hello everyone, it's Emir here. Today's video is gonna be pretty much just me showing you these two Valby builds for season 2, episode 2 for the first Descendant. One is gonna consist on like the full non-crit build that everyone kind of knows, and the other one is gonna be a full crit Valby build. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Okay, so first I'll be showcasing my, I guess, full power non-crit build for Valby. As you can see here, we're gonna use Hydro Pressure Bomb because there's no really good transcendent modules for non-crit Valby. I tried Water Play, but the problem with Water Play is that it lacks the extra effect of the Bubble Bullet, which is the more it bounces, the more puddles it leaves behind, which can only bounce up to 6 times. So Water Play is like stronger than Bubble Bullet, but the problem is that Water Play doesn't have that effect. So because it doesn't have that effect, you lose a lot of damage actually. So it's not optimal to use Water Play. If it had the effect, Water Play would be absolutely the best transcendent module for Valby because of how it works. So we're gonna use Hydro Pressure Bomb because of that. We're gonna use Decimator because, as we know, Valby doesn't have the burst damage to kill everything instantly. So they die because of the debuff you leave behind, which is Laundry, and this will stack our Decimator always. So don't worry about it. Decimator gives you pretty much 50% skill power modifier at max stacks, and it's pretty easy to stack it. We're going to use Focus on Fusion and Focus on Non-Attribute for our cooldown management, and Non-Attribute Amplification and Fusion Amplification because we're pretty much going to be relying on Bubble Bullet, which is a fusion skill. This will give us our strongest modifiers in the case of Bubble Bullet. Now we're gonna use obviously Nimble Fingers and MP Conversion for even more cooldown. We're gonna use Skill Expansion because the reason why we want range is because if you remove this, you can see here in the laboratory that even at max stacks Inversion reinforcement, and even with my Arc Tuning tree, the range is like fucking terrible, right? So we definitely don't want that to happen. We want to hit as many enemies as possible with our skills. So because of this, we're always gonna use at least use skill expansion. Yeah, here we go. Now we're gonna use MP collector in this one because the thing is that since we're always spamming our fill skill pretty much, um, we will run out of MP real fast in a scenario where like you're fighting enemies, not outside the laboratory. We're gonna run out of MP real fast. So we're gonna use MP collector to prevent that from happening. That's pretty much the um, Valby non-crit build that I'm gonna show you. And for the crit build here, we're gonna use supply moisture, sorry, because this changes the passive and we kind of lose the MP recovery for the puddles for the water, but we will gain a hit rate increase, a skill critical hit rate increase of 20%, sorry, and a little bit of skill duration. Obviously, the firearm effects too. So we're gonna use it for our build. Now we're gonna use focus on fusion and focus on an attribute to um, have more cooldown for our bubble bullet. We're gonna use again nimble fingers and MP conversion for even more cooldown. Skill expansion for the same thing, more range in our um in our skills. Sorry, and we're gonna use 4 crit modules. The for everyone knows frontlines, emergency measures, skill concentration, and skill insight. These paired together with the blue beetle because if you see, the bubble bullet is a fusion skill and blue beetle works with fusion skills. So this will give us 100% crit rate on our skills. So baseline, those are the builds at the core, right? We're not gonna change like anything, but there's one like module change you can do on the crit build if you want to, and it's remove emergency measures for MP collector. Obviously, this will help us manage our MP during the whole thing we're doing, whatever we're doing. However, we lose some damage, obviously, and I will show you how both builds work right now. So I'm gonna put it here and here. So we're gonna do first my non-crit build because I already have everything in order here. My arc tuning I will explain later in the video. We're gonna use for both build showcase Slayer set, and here's my reactor. Obviously, the higher the reactor you have, the more damage you will do, but I haven't upgraded it. But just pretty much the concept works the same. I got my peacemaker, and we're ready to like test it out. So how we're gonna test it out? I have the 15 stacks of the inversion reinforcement, and I'm gonna stand like right here for both tests. I'm gonna shoot first my 5 stacks until I get the fully stacked peacemaker. Okay, now once I do it, I'm gonna shoot 5 bullets between the enemies. 5. Now I'm gonna wait until the duration is over so we can check the damage that we do. This is, mind you, this is level 260 Volgus for the, I forgot, let me see, for the Legion of Immortality. So as you can see, we did 64 million damage, right? Now, there's one thing that Valby can do, which is she can manipulate her bubble bullets depending on where you aim, right? So we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna try to fire between the enemies. So what we're gonna do is, there we go. We're gonna try to manipulate our bubble bullets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the reason I'm manipulating my first skill is because the more puddles you leave behind, the more damage it does. As you can see, we're already past the 60 million easily just by manipulating our bullet, and we did 129 million damage, right? So that's pretty much the thing with Valby. Now we're gonna change for our, well, for my crit build, right? Arc tuning change, build change, and now we're gonna equip Blue Beetle. So same thing, we're gonna stack first crit um my crit buff, and then I'm gonna shoot 5 between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you can see, I'm gonna leave it until it ends so I can talk. There we go. So as you can see, we are comparing here the non-manipulated bubble bullet from crit with the non-crit build. The non-crit build did like, it was like something like 60 million damage, something like that. And this one did 177 million damage, right? So it's a lot of damage increase. Now we're gonna manipulate it like we did. And we're gonna try to shoot them in between them. 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see now, we are already way over our non-manipulated bubble bullet crit build damage. We did 325 million damage with trying to manipulate it. Obviously, mind you, this is a perfect case scenario where the obviously Volgus are standing still. So, but this is just to show you the difference in between damage between both builds, right? Now, what what I can like say about this is that the crit one, since you lose the MP recovery from your water pool, you kind of run out of MP faster than the other build, right? So there's like no workaround around this, sadly, but I will explain this like everything in order. So yeah, this is pretty much it for the builds. And in case like you're wondering, we're gonna do a test with hydro pressure bomb. So we don't like leave it out there. No crit. We're gonna change to my maker. And how we're gonna do this test? Well, this test we're doing it the same thing. We're gonna shoot 5 bullets in between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're gonna just spam our hydro pressure bomb skill. There we go. The thing with hydro pressure bomb is that it does more damage when the enemy is already inflicted with laundry. As you can see, we did way more damage than our non-manipulated version of the build. Now we're gonna do it, trying to manipulate the bullets again. I'm gonna stack my peacemaker first. And now, once that is stacked, I'm gonna stand where I was staying. Manipulate my bullets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the same thing. And there we go. So as you can see, even with hydro pressure bomb, the crit damage build is way, way stronger. And mind you, again, this is a perfect case scenario of being able to manipulate your bubble bullet and landing all your hydro pressure bombs and everything, right? So yeah, these are pretty much the builds and how they work fundamentally. Now I'm gonna show you everything in the build that's not the modules themselves. Okay, so since we have two builds, I decided to do two Arcane trees because there are some perks that we don't use for one another. So for the first one, this is the no crit Arcane tree. We're pretty much gonna go into all the way to skill power for the gold perk. We're gonna go all the way up for the enhanced cooldown. We're gonna use the MP recovery out of combat, so we, recovery MP recovery out of combat faster. We're gonna have skill cost and skill range added to our tree, and we're gonna focus more on MP here rather than like going all the way over here, because this is just the crit damage and the crit rate um, perks and duration. But we don't want duration. Duration is not needed because we're gonna be spamming our bubble bullet so much that we don't need duration. So we're gonna use our remaining points on focusing on more MP recovery, MP, skill power, and we're gonna use skill power here. You can swap this for the max MP here, depending on you, or over here, doesn't really matter. Um, for our crit build, we're pretty much gonna go also all the way over the gold, enhance skill power, skill cost, skill range. We're gonna go all the way up for more skill power, max MP, enhance cooldown. We're gonna go for max MP, and here, this is pretty important. We're gonna do critical hit damage. Over here, we're gonna get the 3 of them. We're gonna get 2 of max MP rolls here, and this is up to you. You can either go for the MP recovery modifier here, or swap it for the max MP here, and you can either do max MP here or get like this tiny little portion of skill power here, which won't really make a difference. It's up to you and how you feel more comfortable. Remember, the recovery MP recovery modifier will enhance all your recovery sources, which is like whatever you recovery from your MP orbs in the ground or your MP collector, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if this is wrong, but I believe that's how it works. And yeah. Now for the inversion reinforcement, here we go. We're gonna want max MP up to 5 stacks here. Neural focus augmentation pretty much allows us more MP. We're gonna want max HP here by density augmentation, because this will allow us to be more tanky. No brainer. And here we can actually use selective neurostimulation for chance to recovery MP every 45 seconds. It's a lot of seconds, but again, it will give us a more chance to actually recover our MP during anything that we're doing. So yeah, this is pretty much the arc tuning and the max inversion reinforcement. Okay, so now for the final thoughts of how Valby worked with arc tuning is that yes, she indeed got a massively huge, I guess, quality of life upgrade with the arc tuning tree. However, the problem with Valby, there's two big problems right now with Valby. And the first one is that while your bubble bullet is your best skill because it allows you to leave puddles behind, The problem with it is that first of all, it bounces like really weird when you're on uneven terrain, and the second negative side of it is that if it collapses with anything, it will break and it will not leave the maximum amount of pulls that you can get. So that's like kind of the negative side of Valby is that she's not the best mover that it is. She's really fun to play, I'm not gonna lie, and she's cute, but yeah, that's the problem with Valby. Well, that's one of the problems with Valby. The second problem is that she was nerfed. Well, not nerfed, but she was accidentally nerfed against Colossus because of how they work now. And if you have done any Colossus now, they pretty much removed the waiting timer for the Colossus. So the whole thing that Valby had going for her against Colossus is that you could have pretty much set everything up before the Colossus spawned, right? So you do more damage. But since that's not possible anymore because they removed that, now you cannot set up all the puddles before the Colossus spawns, so she does less damage now, sadly. So yeah, she accidentally got nerfed. By accident, I guess. They didn't really plan for that. Probably, I don't know. But yeah. So what are the thoughts on these two builds? Honestly, they play the same, just depends on what you want. If you just want to jump around using hydro pressure bomb, you can do it. If you want to keep all the purple, I mean, all the orange numbers in your screen with the grid build, it's up to you. I show you how they work. I'm not gonna do a showcase in the case of Valby because honestly, I just been getting Ines, Freinas, Serenas, and it's really hard to play with them because um they just everything just dies before you can like do anything. And I can like solo showcase it, but solo showcase doesn't really show the true damage that it can do because everything is skilled to one player, so it will look stronger than what it actually is. But you can definitely just like steamroll any content in solo with you what you want with this build. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like the video if you liked it, and I see you guys in the next one. Peace.